preparation. I'm in trouble because I was preparing a homily, but hearing the sharing, well, first of all, this gospel. If you were a Jew listening to Jesus, you have to understand that what they had in mind is that the Pharisees are the good guys and the tax collectors are the evil persons. Okay, for us now, we understand to the perspective, we have a different perspective, but if we put ourselves at the feet of those who were listening to Jesus that time, they were very sure that when Jesus started to give the parable, the good guy was the tax collector, the Pharisee. Because the Pharisee is the one who is very faithful to the law. And that is called the dikaios, between just. The just person is the one who follows the law. And the tax collector is an evil person, very evil. He is the one who is collaborating with the Romans. Imagine the Romans conquered them and they chose Hebrews, Jews, to collect taxes for them. And these Jews were really traitors of their own nation. Really, and even worse is that they were asking more than what they were supposed to ask. They were taking advantage. Because they're really evil persons. Tax collectors are evil persons. And they were public sinners. Public sinners. Everyone knew that they were sinners. And they were shameless in that sense. Shameless. So for a Jew listening to Christ, they knew already what was the end of the parable, which is that the Pharisee will be the one justified. They were sure. And the tax collectors will be the one whose prayer will not be heard. But of course, in the end, we discovered in the gospel that it was the other way around. That was the twist of the gospel. We were so shocked when Christ said, at the end of the day, it was the tax collector who was justified. What a shock for them. What a shock. This one goes to the roots of Genesis. Why? Because the just one in the Old Testament is Abel. Abel. The evil one was Cain, and both of them went in front of the Lord, offered to the Lord a prayer. Made an offering to the Lord. The just one for them was Abel. For them it was the Pharisee. Cain was the one who is the tax collector, the sinner. But we must remember why Cain, why was his offering not heard by the Lord? Why? Exactly because of what he did to his brother. What this Pharisee did to his brother as well in the Gospel, the New Testament. You see, in the end, really this tax collector is Cain. Why? Because he despised his brother. And that is what the Lord cannot bear. He can forgive prostitutes, tax collectors, public sinners. He will forgive them. But what he despises, what he doesn't like, are the hypocrites. The hypocrites. That's why he said, woe to you Pharisees. The Pharisees were very just. No, for him, he's very, very hard on them, Jesus Christ. Why? Because he cannot stand a person who despises his brother. Who despises his brother. He cannot accept an offering. No, I don't like sacrifices. No, I don't care about those. What I accept is a contrite heart, a broken heart. A heart that is broken because of his sin. And this is what was the attitude of the tax collector in the end. Unlike the Pharisee who was despising his brother, this tax collector came to the temple with a broken heart, contrite heart. A heart that the Lord will not spurn. And here we come to the point. The Lord, Yahweh, has preference for the poor. Also the church declared that. A preferential option for the poor. The Lord loves the poor. But the problem here is that there are wrong interpretations also among church leaders about this phrase. A preferential option for the poor. Because many would think, in order to prepare the poor, you have to hate the rich. Right? In order to prepare the poor, you have to enrich the poor. In the end, make the poor